kiss and hug me. Come on strong, go on and love me. Cause outweighs that big old moon. Wake up and smell the perfume. Just say if you want to be more than friends.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Marketing Momentum with Charles and Deborah. Hi Charles.
All right, yeah. Hello Deborah. Hello everybody. One thing I did want to talk about is, I don't know if I shared it with you last night because it was like, I don't know. I was going to put the link over there, but it was like, I think it may have been 3 or 4 in the morning of my time. And I've really been following this whole thought process about apprenticeships and about kind of where we are in the process. And I'll tell you why this matters to me. And it's kind of in the same ballpark, I think. And it is, I mean, I've been really working for the last 3 years, you know, and obviously I'm leaving out of that now. My perspective about working with internet marketing consultants is this, that a lot of us, it's almost hard to say. A lot of us kind of came to this as a business opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we approach small businesses as experts without having spent that time developing expertise.
Welcome everyone to another Marketing Momentum with Charles and Deborah. Hi Charles.
Hello everybody. Hello Deborah. Hello everybody. A lot of us would see. I think one of the reasons why, another reason why we watch television as much is because we'd rather watch ourselves, right? I mean, you know,
Sounds funny.
We probably watch more. I mean, people just rather see more of themselves. So how do you top that? How do you top people's desire to see more of themselves? You go way over the top. So, you know, no longer does a good performance draw eyeballs. Because, I mean, you know, quite frankly, people are probably watching a lot of YouTube videos at that point. But then when this thing got talked about, they took their eyes off of their stuff, right? We all took our eyes off of our stuff to take a minute and look at this thing, right? And so people have to, I mean, I think Hollywood, and I mean, in an absolute sense, right? Obviously, this would never happen. I've said to my wife, there's a shelf life to me of your garden variety Hollywood movie. I said people just don't care as much to see these guys anymore. The reality TV was big because people wanted to see more of themselves, and now we don't really even need reality TV. I mean, with what these streaming things, I can do my own, right? I can theoretically I could do my own reality TV. I don't need a big camera. I need a mobile phone, and I can
exactly. I was thinking iPhone.
That's going on right here.
Yep. So true.
And people dig that stuff. I mean, you know, and people like it, right? People like watching other people's real life, and so I think Hollywood is kind of like, okay, well, we got to get people's attention back. And I said, this is really general, and I'm generalizing, and I know big time, but I think they're struggling to get people's attention. No, but you probably spend. I mean, you're spending time working on video, right? But even if your thing was not video, you'd probably be watching YouTube. You'd be watching Steve Harrison and all this other stuff. And I think people all have their thing now, right? People are just into their thing, and I think they're struggling. I think they're saying, well, how are we gonna? I don't know. I mean, I've heard that people are not going to movies as much anymore, right? They're watching it on DVD.
You also have the problem with the piracy. The piracy of music has been around for a while, but now you've got and I talk to my friends that are here in Hollywood, but as far as the piracy of the movies, and it's getting to the point where, especially if it goes overseas and then they mass produce it and it's available for free, I mean, they're not making the money. So I get what you're saying, Charles, as far as how do we make this money somehow, some way. I personally don't want to see Hollywood go away.
And, you know, to some degree, No, I don't. I guess to some degree, it's good. I mean, you talk about the decline of newspapers, decline of I haven't heard about the decline of radio, but decline of television, decline of newspapers, and how all these ad dollars are going elsewhere. Well, that's bad for them in a sense, but I mean, I guess in a mercenary sense, it's good for people like us because because now we can all kind of share in that, right? That's really how some of us are going to be able to, as you say, put it very succinctly, feed our families, right? Because if people watch the programming, that's what the advertiser cares about. They don't, they're kind of not, they're kind of agnostic when it comes to that stuff. They want to know, do you have an audience? What is the demographic? If it fits our demographic, we love to have you, right? We'll pay you.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, the fact that some of that is shifting away from Hollywood and the attention is, well, that's good, I think, for people.
For some people.
But for some, right? Hopefully, but I think, overall it's right. I mean, you wonder, you don't want Hollywood to totally go away. But it's just a resettling. I mean, I guess it's what they say, democratizing, whatever they call it. We're involved now, right? It's like
Yes.
we're all in it now. And, whether it's, I don't have to read the newspaper, right, to find out about, if I want to know about, frankly, if I want to know about the impact, right, of Google's new, whatever they're doing, help outs, whatever it is, I'd rather read something you write rather than something that I would never go to NBC now. I would
Mm-hmm.
never dream of going to my local newspaper. I don't care what they have to say.
I think I linked them in my Examiner articles,
says,
but that's
right. So, but it's just kind of like, well, and so now the attention, and it's spread out, it's diffused, and everybody's got a little piece of it now. I know what that means in terms of these big industries, right? And especially, I know you're a little more sensitive to it as an entertainer, right? Because
the word pirating. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
not a
that
real
whole
nice word.
whole deal. Well, it's funny. I mean, last night my daughter and I were we like this guy. She likes this guy named Cyrus Chestnut, and I used to have his album, and I bought a bunch of his albums on Amazon, and Amazon has now removed DRM.
Mm-hmm.
It to go to her device, which is cool. I dig that, right? But if I were a jerk,
Which
right,
you're not.
I could give those MP3s to somebody else who, right? Yeah, I mean, but they don't know, right? They say, oh, you haven't heard this by Cyrus Chestnut.
Mm-hmm. When people do it, and they
to
think they're doing it innocently. Hey, I
totally
made you a mix CD.
Yeah, and I mean, and so you could say that some of that is good because now I guess he does a lot more touring and it's probably closer to his fans. And I would, as a result of hearing that CD, if he came within 100, miles of Harrisburg, because my daughter likes it so much, she likes to play piano, I would go see him. Right,
Mm-hmm.
and I wouldn't have done that had I not heard the MP3. But I did buy it, though. But even, I guess, if I had heard it and somebody said, I would go see him as a result of hearing him, which I guess gives, they say, and I don't know this, you'd probably be, and then we could probably spend, this is probably another topic for another show.
I'm thinking all
which
kinds
is,
of.
Does this, and maybe we should talk about, I think it would be cool. Does this give indie artists, an opportunity to get themselves into the limelight because people are wanting to get near to these artists that are actually singing and performing, or is it just the same old game?
I think there's a lot of noise out there. I think it's so accessible that highway is so full of noise that trying to find the quality is harder than it used to be because it's so accessible. And then when you've got pirated music, it used to be if you were quality within that noise, you could hope to sell something and actually make money, and you're getting that return on your investment as far as a quality product. I mean, just like it works in business. But now with the pirating, you're not getting anything. You're literally just like everybody else that's on that super highway of noise, whether it's quality or not quality.
Yeah, I mean, we sat and we watched Take 5, right? I like Take 5 and Blue Rondo by Dave Brubeck. Watch it on YouTube, right? I own the album.
But it's convenient to watch it on YouTube.
I own it now. Let's just be real. It is my friend in the 80s, and see, I didn't know this because I have a friend who's a musician. When my friend technically gave me a cassette with Take 5 on it, right? He wasn't supposed to do that. I accepted the cassette. It was mine. As far as I was concerned, I owned Take 5 too. Well, theoretically, even in the non-technology days, I didn't know any better, right? But we siphoned off a piece of Dave Brubeck's cash flow, or his widow's cash flow, whoever's cash flow, when he passed that tape. Now, it could be argued, though. Now, I went on to buy about 4 or 5 albums of Dave Brubeck's after that. Would have never heard of Dave yourself. Brubeck had I not. But I guess, on the one hand, I wouldn't have known Dave Brubeck unless he gave me the cassette.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I would have never even known if I liked it or not. My dad liked jazz, and I liked it as a result of that. But then last night, like my daughter, she plays a piano and she plays a little. We sat and watched Dave Brubeck on YouTube. Yes, I own the album, but what if I didn't? Right? What if I didn't? So we sit and we watch and somebody uploaded the entire album to one video.
Oh, wow.
Right? One entire album, the entire Take 5 album.
Until YouTube catches them.
Yeah, but they'd have to catch, a gazillion people who are doing the same thing.
YouTube has a really good algorithm in place because this is a long story, but to make it short, I have a license to use the GarageBand sounds in videos, and I use that. And I don't want to pick on whoever did this, but somebody went out and used those. And how do I do this without picking on someone? According to the contract with Apple owns those sounds. You are licensed to use them in your videos, but you can't take those sounds and go make an album and then copyright that album because they actually belong to iTunes. Well, somebody did that, so every time I uploaded a video, I would get flagged and say it was a copyright infringement, and I would submit, the explanation. I would give them the license, the Apple thing, and get all the paperwork, and then I would be cleared about 3 weeks later. Well, then at one point, it has to actually go to the person that potentially is the copyright violator to say that I didn't copyright. It's kind of a mess. But all that said, Google has a really good algorithm system in place that matches it as you're uploading the videos to catch any kind of copyright infringement.
Yeah, I guess it didn't. And so, again, I own Take 5, but that doesn't necessarily give me the right. If I didn't own it, it would still not be cool for me to listen to all the Take 5 on YouTube. Right?
Technically not.
And I didn't even think about it until.
I think, the teachers are actually encouraging, our kids have gone through the process of, go copy this commercial, this Calgon commercial, and then go replicate it. And so technically, once you download that and copy that, you're in copyright violation. And, we've gone around and around with the school, and it's like the final product will not go on YouTube because we believe this to be a copyright violation. Well, if the teachers don't understand copyright violation, how do you expect the children to understand?
Exactly. I mean, I know professionally people copy stuff all the time, but from an academic perspective, I don't even think that I think we're coming to this point where we're going to give on the whole plagiarism issue. I do. I think we're about to give on that because
it's yeah, you're right. You're right. It's like I feel like there's a vast majority that just they get the MP3 and they just don't realize that actually is against the law. They don't think about it. It's just what's done, and everybody else does it. And it's not everybody else does it, so it's okay. It's everybody else does it. I didn't know it was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't that what Prince? I guess what Prince did. I guess he went sideways because of people were taking his music, and I guess he's really kind of changed his whole game. I mean, I'm not really a big Prince fan. I don't follow him, but it's my understanding from a business perspective that what really fueled his kind of comeback was him changing his business model, recognizing that people were going to download his music and take it, right? So now he's kind of changed his whole game to live appearances and selling stuff.
And that really is kind of the trend now, where people are realizing they still want to get money for, but I'll go get 200 CDs pressed. I don't expect to really get any money for any of them. They end up being almost, even though they're full CD, they're promotional in the sense that I'm giving them away to people because people are going to download my stuff anyway. They're going to figure out a way to get it for free. So you have to find other ways to monetize your art. Hence what I'm doing here.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, but it's a totally but that's a different game than we grew up with.
Yep.
Right.
Totally different.
And
Alan O'Day, Undercover Angel, 1978. He talked to Congress about the whole pirating issue. He'd really worked for the rights for musicians. And I kept saying I was going to interview him, and bless his heart, he passed this year.
Yeah.
So he would have so. Oh man, we got to end this. I'm going to start crying. He would have so been here to express himself, and wonderful man. But in memory of Alan and all that he worked to help musicians, we can find other musicians to speak.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, let's at some point let's do that, and I'd just like to hear what they have to say, and then see what we can find out.
Very cool. Well, thanks, Charles, and thanks, viewers.
No, thank you. Yeah, bye everybody.
Don't you wanna kiss and hug me? Come on strong, go on and love me. Let's not waste that big old moon. Wake up and smell the perfume. Just say if you wanna be more than friends. Got some love I'd like to make. Baby, you can squeeze me, I won't break. We could be in a paradise, you and me. Until then, I'll remind you again. Just say when. Oh yeah, until then, I'll remind you again. Just say when. Oh baby, just say when.